Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel again. My name is Haruna Abdulaziz, as usual, as you know. Today we are going to specifically be talking about the branches of political science as a discipline, right? Yeah, the branches are these subfields of political science as a discipline. That's what we'll be discussing today. And let me quickly introduce you to some of the branches of political science before we go ahead to discuss them one after the other. Uh, the major branches of political science, that is subfields or areas of political science, are firstly international relations, secondly political economy, thirdly policy studies, fourthly conflict studies. We also have comparative politics, and then we also have political theory, we have political philosophy, and political ideology. There are others, but majorly these are subfields of political science, and we'll be discussing them one after the other. Now, starting with international relations, as I earlier said, international relations is a subfield of political science, though international relations have already started developing, it's already in the process of development as a field on its own, but most universities are studying international relations in as it relates to political science. Now, what is international relations? International relations is a subfield or a branch of political science that studies the relationship between and among states. That's the traditional definition of what international relation is. However, it goes beyond just states, because there are other actors in international uh, system, that is the non-state actors. Therefore, precisely international relations is the study of relationship and politics that happens in international arena. That's precisely the definition that contains both the state and the non-state actors. That's precisely what international relations is about. No, now in the area of international relations, you have diplomacy, foreign policy, power, politics, conflict of that cut across nations. Currently, we have issue of terrorism, international migration, and all that. All those are covered in the area of international relations, but this specifically the focus of international relations as a field of study under political science. Now, how about the second one is political economy. Political economy is a subfield of political science that focus on how political decision, how political actions, how political happenings affect the economic conditions of states or nation states. Let me come again. I said political economy is a field of political science that studies how political decisions, how political happenings, political actions affects the economy of a nation. That is a relationship between politics and economy. So precisely that's what political economy is, and then it focuses on areas like development, economic development, international development, where you speak of the international development agencies, you speak of economic progress of nation, you analyze indices of development as it relates to the economy. Does economic development transform to general development? These are some fundamental questions the area of political economy attempts to answer. Then the area of policy studies, that's another subfield. Policy studies is a field of political science that focus and analyze policies. That is whether public or private policies. It analyze policies. It study policies from it. What led to the creation of the policy? How was the policy created? What does the policy attempts to address? How is the policy executed? What challenges were faced during the implementation of the policy? What is the feedback and what next can be? These are fundamental questions, the study of policy attempt to answer. as it relates to the area of political science. The next subfield of political science we have is conflict studies. Conflict studies is a subfield area of political science that focus on what the causes of conflict are, what nature of conflict exists, what should be done to address the conflict, what can be done to resolve conflict, genesis, from the genesis to what happened, and then how can conflict be managed. These are essentially what the conflict study does. Then we also have comparative studies. Comparative study focus mainly on how the similarities and differences among political institutions, political behavior, and political action. It can be between and among between states, it can be between institutions, it can be within the state and between regimes, it can be between particular period of time. That's comparative studies, seeking for similarities and differences between and among political action and political behavior or political institutions. Then the other subfields areas of political science that I'll be mentioning, which are three: political theory, political philosophy, and political ideology. These subfields of political science are often interchangeably used, but these are essentially three different areas of political science. Though these particular three areas of political science I just mentioned, political theory, political philosophy, and political ideology, by many political analysts recently have been ignoring these particular areas because it has more to do with the art, that is the non-scientific aspect of political science. So that's essentially why most people do not regard it in contemporary idea of political science. However, political theory, as I said, explanations are political explanations as to why political happenings occur. Political philosophy has a way of thinking, thinking process about why certain things happen the way they happen. That has to do with political philosophy. And political ideology has to do with the set of ideas, principles, norms, ideologies, you understand, about politics, about why institutions do what they do. A set of tested ideas over time. Example of political ideology can be the mercantilism is an ideology, communism is an ideology, Marxism is an ideology, Buddhism, Sufism, and whatever it is. There are a lot of them out there. So essentially, these last three: political theory, political philosophy, and political ideology, are the normative areas of political science. So essentially, these are the subfields of political science: international relations, political economy, policy studies, conflict studies, comparative policy, political theory, political philosophy, political ideology, subfields of political science. And then you can choose from any one of these to actually focus on and then have a specialization. Thank you very much for listening. See you next in my next class, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.